Hello, everyone. This is Freeze.
Hello, my name's Derek.
This is RTMG Sports Talk. I'm going to be talking about the Lions and the Patriots game today. Pretty much, the Lions stunk it up again. Stunk it up real bad. Losing 9-34. So, what do you think about today's game, Derek?
Well, actually, this is what I exactly predicted going into New England. It was actually a loss even before the season start, but I was just a little disappointed because I thought the Lions would at least execute a little bit better on offense and play a little bit better in the defense in the secondary.
Yeah, one thing that the three major problems I really see with the Lions is Matthew Stafford, one, the offensive coordinator, and just the lack of running game and offensive creativity.
Well, you're right, Freeze, boss man. It's really when you look at the overall offense, it's starting to really look very obvious that the offensive coordinator, Lombardi, is really not what we envisioned. We thought he was going to come in using the same high-powered offense scheme he used in New Orleans, but it's nothing like that at all. The Lions are really just not hitting at all cylinders. Not even all year they haven't been hitting at all cylinders. So something needs to change quickly.
Yes, it does. But for the most part, if you really look at the stats, Stafford had one interception, no touchdowns. You go a whole game, that's two games in a row we failed to score a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really incredible that this man, who the Lions just extended $53 million to give him additional money to be the Lions' #1 quarterback, and now he's just not blossoming. He just really is starting to look like a rookie quarterback now. He really just don't have no confidence. His players are actually losing confidence around him because they dropping passes. It's just nothing going right under his leadership.
I don't know. So I don't know. Pretty much what do you think needs to happen to get the Lions going on the right track?
Well, we know they're not going to change quarterbacks, not 13 games into the season. So only thing that the Lions have left to do is really just start trying to execute, trying to figure a way to get the offense going. Maybe they need to run a no huddle. Maybe they need to continue to try to get the ball to their tight ends. But right now, the thing that they do have to look forward to is that they do have some home games coming up, which are 3 winnable games when you look at the Chicago Bears coming on Thanksgiving, and then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then you got the Minnesota Vikings. So basically, this game today isn't really the end of the season, and the offense do have an opportunity to work on some more things before this Thursday, but they're going to have to really dig deep. They're going to have to find somehow to get the offensive going, Freeze the boss man.
Yeah, pretty much. And speaking of Thursday, playing the Bears, how do you see the Lions holding up in that game against the Bears on Thanksgiving?
Well, don't forget the Bears. They won a pretty dynamic game today. They basically their defense really picked it up at the end of the game, and I'm starting to feel a little uneasy about this game now because the Bears for the last few weeks have been looking really bad, but the day they really turned it up a notch, and I really think now that the Lions really going to have to even prepare even harder this Thursday to beat the Bears defense because they really played effective defense today to win.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Hopefully Reggie Bush will be back by Thursday. Add a little bit more, offensive firepower. But hey, if the coordinator doesn't do a better job calling plays, it don't matter who we got on the team, and it ain't gonna help us out at all.
Well, you're absolutely right, Freeze the boss man. It's really going to come down to can those wide receivers finally can they start catching the ball? Now, a lot of people are really complaining about Embron. He was our number 10th pick, and he dropped some critical passes today, one that could have been a touchdown. And I realize he's just getting back from injury, but today he really was a disappointment. He really did not play like a number one pick. Now, in fact, none of the tight ends really today showed anything. Not Pettigrew, not Ferry, none of those tight ends showed any type of ability to get open, to make catches, and just to try to help the Lions to win today. So I think the most important thing now, they need to really practice the rest of this week leading up to the Thursday game, trying to get those tight ends involved in the game because everybody realized that they're going to double team Calvin Johnson, and of course Golden Tate is always going to be on their radar. But the people who really have opportunity to get open is those tight ends, so they're going to have to really step it up.
Yeah, a lot really depends on if Stafford throws the ball to the tight ends too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I look at Stafford, he has horrible field vision. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are open, he doesn't get the ball to them. Unfortunately, when they are open, half the time they drop the ball, so they don't help him out either.
Well, look at today. You see his statistics. He completed about under 20 passes and threw the ball about nearly 50 times. And so he's thrown at he threw it at under 40% today. So it's obvious that Stafford is not playing up to his level or even up to what he was supposed to be at number one. I think still, when you look at the New England Patriots, you have to realize that they have been playing lights out for the last month. They have been beating everybody over 30 points each game. So it's not whereas the Lions had an opportunity to play a team that's on their level, they had to play probably a team that's probably destined to be in the Super Bowl. But still, Stafford, he's going to have to find a way to get more relaxed in that pocket and also to look at some different types of timing of plays. Try to throw a little bit more on first downs. Try to stay out of third and long and second and long. Trying to find a way to be more productive and predict exactly how this defense is going to play you. So there's a lot of things that Matthew Stafford could do, too, to be a better quarterback. But it's going to all start with him and the offensive line. So even today, their right defensive tackle got hurt, and Kylie Reef never got back in the game. So they had number 77, Lucas, come in there to finish up the game. So that's going to be a concern, too, with the Lions, that offensive line. So all in all, Freeze the Boss Man, the Lions do got some problems, and I'm not even sure if they have enough time to fix it before the Thursday game.
Yeah, that's a big thing. One thing I wonder is, we really don't get any wide receiver production outside of Johnson and Golden Tate. So I'm kind of a fan of Ryan Burrows, but I don't think they've been utilizing him right. He hasn't dressed the last couple games since Johnson's been back. And when you look at like Corey Fuller, we had a free play. He was in the end zone. The ball went straight through his hands. That was a touchdown. We didn't get right there. I really would like to see them activate Broyles and try to bolster up this wide receiver attack.
Yeah, Freezer Boss Man, you're right. Royals have shown signs that he can really make plays after he catch the ball, and he also is a type of player that can get first down. But even when he had opportunity to play when Bush been out and Calvin Johnson was out for 3 weeks, he still didn't really impress the coaches. And maybe I think it still all comes down to Lombardi. Lombardi is not actually looking and making players better by calling plays that help them to get wide open. It seemed like every time the Lions wide receivers run plays, it seemed like it's a bunch of defensive men checking them. And then when you watch the opposite, when Tom Brady dropped back for passes, players wide open. It's just that it's the quickness, just the intensity that we just don't have. We don't seem to get men's open, and when they are open, they drop the ball. So to me, the whole offense of the wide receivers and tight ends, they are just really a huge problem right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I noticed. Like, no matter what team we play, they have no problem getting receivers open. But our receivers are never open, and when they are, they never can take advantage of their opportunities. So we get some got to happen, man. They need to practice harder or something, man. They making too much money not be able to catch a football. Something got to happen.
Well, the good thing again, we do have some home games, and it's true that it's nothing like home cooking when you get a chance to play in front of your own fans, play on your own turf. So we know that do make a big difference playing at home. And now I think it may help also that they faced a team that really somewhat embarrassed them, showed some of their weaknesses. New England did expose the Lions defense, especially the secondary on plays that we watched the Lions countless times get in the zone, and Tom Brady, every time he got back, he always found the open man. He was able to find openings within that zone. But same as we just mentioned before, when Matthew Stafford goes back, he has he don't have much time, and then when he do finally throw the ball out to a wide receiver, they either drop it or it's too short of a pass that don't make it to the first down marker. It's just the Lions are becoming so predictable. I just don't know if it's going to be enough time with this regime under this offensive coordinator, if it's going to be enough time to make this offense that can score.
Yeah, I know one thing. I know one thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for the Lions all my life, but I can honestly say this is not a Super Bowl team. You know, there's no way. Even if they do make it to the playoffs, you can't be in the playoffs playing conservative football and calling these conservative plays and expect to win. You know what I'm saying? And you know they need to win at least 3 or 4 more games to get a couple home. You know what I'm saying? Playoff games. So, but you can't depend on that. If you can't win on the road in the NFL, you're definitely not about to win the Super Bowl.
Well, you're right, because I was just looking at some of the scores today. Right now, with 4 minutes left, San Diego is winning over St. Louis 27-17. Seattle, they're actually playing Arizona, the team that the Lions
Oh,
lost
wow,
miserably to,
19-3.
19-3. And Stanton, I watched that game through an interception, and he hasn't even got a touchdown himself on the board. So it just showed you that Arizona basically last week when the Lions played them, they had got those 2 early touchdowns, and the Lions still did not have any offensive, any type of way of getting just a couple touchdowns to even tie or win that game last week. So it's just showing you that it's not so much when you look at the overall league, most teams struggle to score a lot of touchdowns. You know what I mean? We could even, for example, Arizona, they only got 3 touchdowns now, and they had 14 last week. So it just shows you that Lions' biggest problem might still rest in the hands of the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I believe that. I'm definitely thinking after this year, you got to possibly explore getting another offensive coordinator, or at least add. We were a lot more successful last year with our playbook. Maybe adding some plays from last year's playbook that Stafford and the offense are comfortable with, particularly in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? We just got Fourier back. Fourier back. He's been back a couple games. You know what I'm saying? We targeted him once today. He dropped it in the end zone. He should have made that catch. But like I said, we have to target the type Fourier and Ebron more, in the red zone and all down the field, you know what I'm saying, to try to help take some of the pressure off Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate.
And I think, like you said, it's really becoming just every week you see the same play calling. You see just Matthew Stafford dropping back and just flinging the ball out to the wide receivers. They're not setting up. You don't see any kind of tight end screens. You don't see any kind of tight end slants. You don't see tight ends running out with little hook routes. You don't see them at all getting balls thrown to them down the middle. And then, unfortunately, Umbron, when he did get a ball thrown to him down the middle, he didn't recognize that he should have turned around and tried to find out that if the ball was already passing before he even realized what was going on. So I'm just really disappointed right now with the whole tight end of this team. And then, of course, with Matthew Stafford being so unpredictable and so unstable at quarterback, and then that's really falls on the shoulder of the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Why are they not coming up with creative plays to make his job a little bit more easy? Because I still believe that even though Matthew Stafford is having a bad year in regards of completion rate and the quarterback rating, I still think he's still capable if you call the right plays to mix up the play calling. I still believe the Lions need to pass the ball a little bit more on first down. They need to make sure that they pass to get teams more, then run secondary. They need to pass to set up the run. So far, they've been running to set up the pass, and that's just not working with Matthew Stafford this year.
I agree with you, but one thing that's also puzzling, difference from last year to this year, is the offensive line. They're not protecting Stafford at all. You know what I'm saying? He go back there, he has no time whatsoever. It's always somebody coming up the middle, running at him. He doesn't have any, escapability out of the pocket. So you let somebody come through, you taking a sack every time or incomplete pass. So I really think the coordinator needs to do a better job calling short passes to where, he can get the ball out of his hands faster. Maybe some throwing it to the running back out of the backfield, like you saw what Brady was doing today. Yeah, he hit the running back out of the backfield. They got a lot of big yards today, going to the tight ends up the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, run some hook routes. So they need to do something because the way their offense is playing right now is horrible. It's horrible.
Right. And I think just kind of piggybacking on the offensive line, you're right. Last year, Lions had one of the best offensive line when it came down to pass protection. Now, this year, they are giving up a high amount of sacks. And the reason why, and then you also was puzzling, the Lions pass less than they had passed in the past. Lions used to pass the ball almost on every down last year. Now they do have a balanced pass run attack, but then now the problem with that, they're really becoming predictable. You can almost guarantee that after a pass play, there's going to be a run play. After a run play, then there's going to be a pass play. He just goes back and forth, run a play, pass, run, pass. You never see two run plays back to back. You never see two pass plays back to back. So that's what I'm saying. He just is so unpredictable.
And the crazy thing about comparing last year to this year is the offensive line. It's the same offensive line. That's what makes no sense. If they were so good last year, what in the world happened in the season to where they can't protect the quarterback? And they get no push whatsoever on the runs. And I believe they do need to have a more balanced attack and get the run. We have some good run backs in Joint Bell and Bush and so I think we do need to go ahead and have a balanced attack. But I don't know. It's all key on the line. If they can't run block and they can't pass protect, no matter what you do, we're going to be unsuccessful.
Right. Well, hopefully this Thursday Reggie Bush will be back, and he is good at running screens and also catching the ball out of the backfield. So he'll be an added plus. Now, my only fear now is we don't know the status of Riley Reeve because he went out in the first quarter and never came back, and it looks like something may have happened to his knee. So we got to wait and see what happens there too. But overall, the Lions still should really be able to look back after these films from New England and start to measure what went wrong, what did we do right, what did we did wrong. And personally, I don't think they really did anything right today. There wasn't anything I seen today they can hang their hat on. They dropped passes. They allowed Stafford to be rushed and sacked. And then when Stafford, for example, had a chance to get a first down when it was 4th down and 10, knowing that it was 4th and 10, he had a chance to either dive for the marker or cut back in, but he decided to slide a yard back, which really makes me really wonder, do Stanford really have the heart to win? Do he have the mindset, the intelligence to win? Because there was no excuse for him to slide in a situation where if he pick up another first down, the Lions score was only 9-27. They get a touchdown, they can do a 2-point conversion. They could have made the game 27-17, be down by 10, with still over 10 minutes left on the clock. So Lions still could have been in that game. So that was a time where you really have to wonder where his heart's at. And maybe with those players dropping all those passes, maybe that kind of hurt his mindset too. But there's something definitely wrong with the offense. And even today, the defense got exposed in the secondary.
Yeah, just talking about that play again where he 4th and 10. To me, that like you said, just saying what you said, it shows what is the mental capacity of Matthew Stafford. That is a key play, like you said. That's the game right there.
Right.
If you get that, you know what I'm saying, you still have a chance to go down there and get some points, put some points on the board. You still in the game, you still can come back. But after that right there, the game was pretty much over. The game was pretty much over right there.
I don't know. Was that fear? Sometimes you have to weigh it. Was he scared at that point? Because
I, I really don't think he was scared. I just think he didn't run through the situation in his mind. You know what I'm saying? He's a quarterback. He's so used to sliding. He's let me slide. But you got to be predetermined. If you go run for it, you know you have to get that first down. You don't slide in that situation.
but but you pay Matthew Stafford the most money on the line, and he should be the most highly intellectual person out there on the field. Now they pay this guy a lot of money to be the leader on this offense. If he's not being tough and really playing bold and making sure that he look the whole field over before he throw it. That's why it's so important for good quarterbacks to look over the whole field. They have to make sure, find out who's open. Every play, there's usually somebody open, but it's up to the quarterback to find out who's open. So if you constantly forcing the ball in double coverage, or if you constantly throwing the ball to running backs when you can see that there's a linebacker bearing down on him that's going to stop the play before he even catch the ball, then that's not being smart as a quarterback. And too many times I see Matthew Stafford just basically just make decisions that will not present any kind of first down, will not even be any positive yards. So that's why, in my book, I think Matthew Stafford is definitely a quarterback that really still has a long ways to go.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And I mean, it's puzzling. You know what I'm saying? We see it year after year. We get started in the season. We think we have some promise. We think we're going to make the playoffs and make noise, but you got to be realistic with yourself. And when you compare these rest of these teams in this league, we just don't match up very well with them, especially in the playoff situation. I just don't see any hope. I don't see any hope at all. Maybe they can change that on Thursday if they come out with a good showing against the Bears, but it's going to take a whole season of, you know what I'm saying, off season of make some changes to really see a significant change from the Detroit Lions team.
But think about this, Freeze, the boss fan. If the Lions didn't have that dramatic comeback in New Orleans, that dramatic comeback in Miami, that dramatic comeback in Atlanta, this team basically should have lost 3 other games. Lions right now, by them losing this game, makes them 7-4. If they lose them other 3 games, then that would have been 7 losses already under their belt. They already be eliminated out of the playoff. So Lions really, this whole season has just been a pipe dream, been a thin line of victories that they should have lost. And now you look at them playing against good teams like they did the last 2 weeks. They don't even seem like they even stack up with these people. Now, it's true the Lions do have a chance because from the gift of these schedulers, the Lions still have Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and Chicago at home. So there's still not any excuse to lose those games, especially with the defense playing as good as they are. But the most important thing is, will this offense score some points? Will they be able to go out there and score some touchdowns? 2 weeks in a row, no touchdowns. They only been able to muster field goals. How many field goals that was 2 field goals last week and 3 field goals this week. So the only points they've been able to score is 5 field goals in the last 2 games. So that's going to have to really, something's going to have to drastically happen. Some people are suggesting that Caldwell take the play calling away from Lombardi and start calling the plays himself, because he did that when he was with Baltimore, and basically it was a success. So sometimes you might need another person out there calling the offensive plays, because the Lions cannot continue to let Lombardi call these plays. He is not doing anything that gives the Lions any remote chance of getting any points anymore. He is totally in an offensive slump. So something needs to happen right there.
Well, I'm definitely whatever works. You know what I'm saying? If that's the thing, because Lombardi, I'm just not a fan. Of the offense at all. Offensive at all. Offense over the years, even though we've been bad, we still been able to put points on the board. And one thing that the Lions lack offensively and defensively, is a killer instinct. Even when we do have a lead or are playing well, we always miss the plays that can put the game away. And, and,
Mm-hmm.
and that pretty much dictates what, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to win or lose. You know what I'm saying? I feel these this first part of the season, we just got lucky. That's all it is. We've gotten lucky. And just like last year, I think if they don't turn it around, we go force just like last year. We in first place and not make the playoffs.
Right.
That's
Oh yeah, when you really look back towards last year, we had Scott Linehan calling the play. Now we got frustrated with him because we kept thinking that the Lions was predictable then, but I'm starting to realize that Scott Linehan, the way he called plays was actually, at least he was in rhythm with the game. He was in rhythm with the score. Lombardi we're just playing catch up now. It's like I said, if it wasn't from the heroic plays that Matthew Stanford made in the fourth quarter against the New Orleans and Miami and Atlanta, we would have had 7 losses on our belts right now. So one thing with Scott Linehan, I do appreciate the things he did do, the way he at least tried to get the ball to the tight ends. Is think for example, Pettigrew, we always hounded him from how many passes he dropped last year, but now they don't even throw the ball to him at all. It's like how you gonna have a tight end out there that can at least from looking the years past, you at least try to get the ball to him. They don't even throw him the ball at all. I don't remember seeing one pass go his way today. So to me, that makes it easy on the defense. You got players out there playing positions that don't even get the ball. That just makes it easy for the defense to target the players who might get the ball, which is Tate and Calvin Johnson and Riddick coming out of the backfield. So all you got to do is just look for 3 players on the defensive end because nobody else get the ball, and that's what the problem is. And now Ross, yes, they tried him a little bit, but Ross, he's the kick receive man. So actually, he's getting more open than Calvin and Tate. So it shows you that everybody needs to get the ball, spread it around to them. I would like to see them go to the Furry a little bit more, for some easy passes. Just let him go 5 yards, turn around and throw him. Get the ball in his hands so he can build some confidence. It's like Lombardi is so focused on trying to call the right plays. He's forgetting that the most important thing is to try to get the ball to them early so they can get some rhythm going and get some confidence. That's why with the Lions, they do not need to try to take this game slow and trying to run the ball too much. It's better to do what New England did. Just get back and just pass. Just get loose and comfortable, and then you can kind of maybe going into the second quarter. I always believe that in the first quarter you should pass the ball as frequently as you can, and then in the second quarter, then slow up a little bit. But the most important thing, get into the game rhythm. Lions haven't been in rhythm the whole season, and so that's a problem.
I really think they need to change some things up. You know what I'm saying? I think Stafford operates a little better in the hurry up offense. I would like to see them go through that throughout the game. And also, I wouldn't mind seeing 2 backs in the game, have them catching the ball out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Maybe put Riddick
And Joy Bell.
Joint Bell,
or Reggie Bush, yeah.
or Reggie Bush in the game at the same time. If the tight ends are dropping the ball and not going to be productive, at least starting the drives, I'll put two of them, run some play action fakes and get the ball to them. And Calvin Johnson and can take some they'll be focusing on them, and that might lead them open for big games.
Oh yeah, you're right, and that's exactly what true, Freezer Boss man, because you really have to start looking at where we at now. We got some home games coming up. We know who we're going against, Chicago. We know their defense, and usually with Chicago, the most important thing to do with them, you got to hit them hard and knock their confidence out early in the game. So that's why I say it's better to go out there a game like that when it's a must-win and hit them hard with the pass. This is not a game where you want Chicago to stay close with you, because if you do that, then you know what history always tell you. If you sit there and let a team like Chicago stay close with you when we have more on the line at this point, then Chicago will end up winning. So that's my biggest fear. If Lions want to win Thursday, blow this team out. Win this game 35-10. Go up with some points. Be up 21 points by the fourth quarter. So I'm just saying Lions need to really flex their muscles this game. And the only way you can do that is with the offense. The defense always do their job. You know they're going to slow the run down. You know they're going to make it difficult for Chicago to score. You know what I mean? So you figure even if Chicago have a good game against the Lions, they'd be lucky to probably get 14 points. But the point is, how can the Lions get 17 or 21 points? That's a problem when they're not scoring right now.
Well, I really, I think Thursday's game is predictable. You need them to come out with energy, but they're not. You need them to make big plays. I always feel, Lions do a lot of times do a good job getting takeaways, intercepting the ball, but they never return it. They always get caught at the 10, and we always end up getting stopped and have to settle for field goals. Mark my word, on Thursday, we're not going to take advantage of the big plays on defense, and hence we're not going to score. And the other team, and Chicago's going to stay close and pull it out. I hope that's not the case, but the way this team is performing, it might be.
Well, Freezer Boss Man, you made a valid point, but then the only thing that makes me more concerned is that, where do Jim Caldwell come in? When will he step in there and get his team focused to play at a high level? See, it comes down now to Jim Caldwell is the head coach, and it's important for a head coach to be able to understand the dynamics of the game. Look at Bill Belichick. The reason why New England Patriots is so good is not just because of the players they have. They're good because they have a great head coach. Belichick has won with different player personnels on New England. He's been to the Super Bowl multiple times. So it's not just looking at the players to perform. We need to find out when are these coaches are going to perform, when they're going to get these players fired up, get these players focused, have a good week of practice. Like I said before, looking at the Lions today, it's like the first thing you need to do when you get back to practice is make sure you get these tight ends into the game plan, make sure these players are catching the ball. How many times you seen these players have two hands on the ball and drop the ball? That means they need to practice all week long making sure they can catch these balls that's coming at them. And then at the same token, they got to make sure that they know this is a holiday game. Everybody going to be watching this team nationally, all over the country. In fact, the Lions need to realize that this game is probably going to be one of the most important games of the season for them right now, because I have a feeling that if the Lions can win this game and can go 8-4, then it'll propel them to be able to have more focus when they go play Minnesota and Tampa Bay. But you're right. If they lose this game, if they go out there and dropping passes and Matthew Stafford getting sacked, offensive line not doing their job, and the secondary get exposed, then you're right. This is going to be a wasted season. It's going to be a shame to see a team that was 7-2 not make the playoff.
Yeah, as crazy as that sounds, I think we all too used to it here in Detroit. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Thanks everybody for joining us. Look for us Wednesday night. We're gonna do some post game commentary on the Detroit Pistons, and we'll see you then.
All
Thanks.
right.